Our life. I have de la broken hand, but I still play. Do I want to play de la killer? No, 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 I do not. Mm. Oh, this is such good ping. Oh, and we're playing. Ping. Uh-oh. It's an uh-oh moment. Hey, at least now I can, I don't know why I wasn't able to do this before. Cause like, I guess cause it was in my sling, but it's not my sling. I can prop my chair up, Norm, and play. FBI agent. If you're, oh, we're in the game. Sorry, FBI agent. Oh, someone already working on this gen over here. My goodness. I'll work with you, Meg. Don't you worry. Probably a hillbilly. We got the farm. Makes sense if it's a hillbilly. Oh! Move, you stupid hoe! Move! Oh gosh. What is she doing? Meg, Meg. Could have done that a little better. You over there? Yeah, sure. Easy, easy. Start working on this gen some. My hand a little bit of a break. Dublin donuts. Oh, cheeks. He's here. I don't think he knows. I don't think he sees me though. This killer's retard. Okay, I'm trying to text saying Duncan. No. This is very difficult. I hate playing. I can't 360 like. It's just like picking up my mouse sucks. I realize if I take off this cast, when I go to the actual doctor, because I went to the ER, right? And they were like, yeah, let's put this on. Hey. Good job, sir. I like what I see. No, come back, mate. Oh, I should have used the insta heal on him. Come on, kick it. Freaking retard. Oh, I thought I could wait a little bit longer. Guess not. I don't know why he'd pick me up. Yeah, you go heal him up. Okay, she's a retard. Come on, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. I'm not gonna get it. Oh well. It's a bad play by me. I thought I was gonna be able to get him. Or not get him. I thought I was gonna be able to wait longer. I don't know what our teammate's doing. He's gonna get chased. Oh, no, okay. He picked up the wrong guy. That's kind of retarded. I don't know why he didn't pick up the other guy. I have decisive, so if he wants to come get me, I get farmed. I get farmed. We're coming to get you, don't worry. Go. Ever do it. Bro, stop moving. Are we gonna be able to get this done or not? Oh, wow. He just... Oh. That's... Oh, how he catches up to me with that. That guy isn't healing. Where is that guy going? Where are you going? Gosh. Our team is a retard team. Our team is full of retards. You should have been on that girl healing him, and so that girl would have been healed. He's gonna go heal him there. She's gonna get up. If that guy wasn't retarded, he would have gone back over there. But they're gonna heal. I got on the hook. Come back there. If you guys start. Oh, they're both. One of them's gonna die. I'm getting farmed. Let's do it. No way, Jose. Good job. Why this guy is nice. Pick me up, please. Thank you. Oh, okay. My hand is getting fatigued. For not farming me. Fine. Rough. Gonna go this way. Gonna go this way. Get this going. Ooh. Ooh. This man steers. Holy crap. Okay, let's get it. Oh my. Come on, run around just for a little bit longer. Sorry, bud. Please have dead hard. Or not. I tried. I tried. My arm is getting fatigued from doing this. I remember there was this one infinite I was running the doctor on this map. Insanely overpowered. I was running him on like the biggest infinite ever. And I just come around here. Come back through here. Run him on the infinite and something like that. I don't think it was this map though. I think it was different. It was a farm, but not this farm. Well, we're probably dead unless Dead Hard can save us. Dead Hard, and we got a pallet. You break that pallet, probably gonna come back to haunt him. I'm out. There's an exit right there, and all the way across the map. Where I'm going. All the way across the map, baby. Where is this exit gate? I do not know. Maybe it was not all the way across the map. Does not seem to be. Exit gate is on. I don't know where it's open from. Ay. It was right there. I'm just big retard. We gotta go save our teammate. Hopefully this guy can run him around for a little bit and someone else can open the other gate. Ay. Please, I borrow time. Oh, bro, man's weaving. Holy crap. Bruh. Mans was weaving, bro. We all get out. I think. Good job, team. GG, well played. Oh, he said K. Someone's not too happy now. Doesn't know how dying light works. Oh gosh. And I lost my med kit. I mean, I used it. It was a good game. I did not think we were gonna make it out. Our team was kind of bad. I don't really know if I want to play killer. It's gonna be very, very difficult. I want to. Guy, cool guy. Easy. And I really want to play killer. It just be kind of difficult with my stuff. I mean, I'm gonna play against pretty bad people. Maybe I'll play some trapper. I'm kind of digging that. I don't really have good perks for him though. I do have barbecue. Why not? Fire and grasp. This is pretty good. Do I need agitation? No, okay. I don't have ruin. Do I have no ed? Poppy butcher me. When a trap is sabotaged or disarmed by healthy survivor, the bloody coils. Everything inflicts dying upon the trap victim if they free themselves. Traps tremendously increases bear trap setting speed time. I guess we'll see if this works. Where's the oil thing? It doesn't stack, so we probably shouldn't use that. Putting a Mori on. Because I'm probably gonna suck PP. No. Wish nothing. Really there. Never works. They can turn off this. Right? Okay. I broke my hand. I need a cast. I need to go and buy an arm cast. I need to buy a brace for my arm. I hurt my arm. I need to get a brace. I don't know if this even works or not. Oh my gosh, this is not what I was expecting. That like website that was.
Piccadilly Circus, a 1-acre site of
Grammarly does more than catch errors. With Grammarly, you can find really good that they don't.
What is this website called? I need a cast. I need a cast for my arm. I broke my arm. I need a cast. For a cruise. I find one for a cast. Will be very surprised. Oh, what the? That's broken. Mm. Okay, we're gonna see how this goes. Probably not too well, though. It's picking up my mouse is tragically hard. I don't know why I'm holding shift. Hey, big boy. Hello, mate. Come here. Come here, mate. Oh, you lucky pee pee poo poo head. Alright, we have. Oh, that really hurts my arm. We have a good player, or kind of a good player. Oh, okay, I can rest my arm. Here, big boy. Hey, yeah. I can't do anything about that one. I legit. Oh, and I'm getting gen rushed. Let's go. Throw her down? No. Alrighty. Now you're gonna have to. This was a very bad idea. I can't play killer. The freaking broken arm. Ow, it hurts. Getting that one, big boy. This is such a bad idea. It hurts so badly. It's not even my wrist that hurts. It's my freaking arm from holding up this weight that hurts. I have to hold up this freaking cast, and it's very heavy. And it sucks. Like a freaking butt cheek on a stick. Job, person. Butt cheek on a stick. You. Yep, good job, bro. So fucking good at this game, bro. Oh gosh, my freaking nose. Oh, you freaking retard. Hey, let's go. So y'all are just standing there healing. One's going over to that gen. Probably. Oh, nope, never mind. I freaking see you, home slice. Wanna freaking kill you, home slice. Thank you. Oh, I thought you were gonna vault that. What the heck are you doing? Yeah, I can finally rest my arm. Don't know where you're going. Easy, easy. Freaking retard. Rest my arm, for goodness sakes. We got 2 DCs. Mad? Because I'm not. Remember your name. Bruh. Yeah. I'll keep that. Why not? Okay, so you're downstairs, just sitting down there. I'm gonna come for you, don't you worry. Up. Have fun with this one. Ah, my arm. It's not even my wrist that hurts at this point. It's just my arm from holding up this cast. Really not gonna go get your teammate? Are you gonna let him die? Just gonna let your teammate die like that, mate? Good teammate you are. You can only come out of these two areas. Oh. Get some action down here. Okay, maybe not. There's tons of lockers. Don't really want to check them all. Too lazy for that. One in the basement. Again, don't. Nice. One. And dead, don't worry. That were Bruh, I'm nice. They call me the nice killer. Bro, they were both rank 12s and oh, Hex toxic, toxic survivor main. Yeah, okay. Bad. Yeah, they're both kind of bad. No. Hunter's Billy, the plague. But we're not doing that again. That hurt like a butt cheek. Like, my arm is freaking sore. It's not even my wrist. My wrist feels completely fine. Feels just saying. Can we play like game? Let's open up AI Suites. I'm streaming and everything. Thing is only at 47 degrees. 50 degrees. Okay, good. So, okay. I don't really want to play any other games. Any other games I can play unless I take this cast off. Can I take this cast off? Do that. Do-do-do. I don't know what to play. Any other games I can really play? I can't really play CS. I mean, I would play VR. I want to play Rainbow Six really with my whole. Dead. Borderlands 2, I could. I could play Kong. Oh, that was.
Galaxy's in my chat. Yo, holy shit, you guys. There's a guy in my chat room that's actually a god gamer. Like, you know those guys that just, like, win every game forever and just never stop? Yeah, one of those guys. But, like, not even just, like, a normal gamer, one of the Fortnite ones. You know what I mean?
I have an idea.
What was I saying? Oh, ancient coins. They spawn in the wild, but no one's found any. Like, there are no Reddit posts. There's nothing. No one has found any yet. So no one even knows how much you get when you kill one of the skeletons. Feels bad.
Nice.
Not nice.
I play Switch.
Alright, we need a fourth.
Do 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 do.
Soapy's on, but I don't know if he's in.
I got it, dude. Hold on. Hey, wanna arena? Colors weave into a spire of flame. Fuck, that was loud. Sorry. Spooky. Domestic spooky. Sweet.
I think up to 6.
And how do I name the pet?
If you go into the pet chest, press 1.
Gotcha.
Oh wait, is this guy in the Vanguard?
Child's healing depends. The plaster cast for 2. Oh,
Oh shit, he hasn't done interview for Vanguard.
Who's it?
Delnara is
Gotta
his
immobilize
profile
the-
name on Discord, but his
Probably shouldn't take-
Xbox name is Xandros. It's like Andros from
I just added
it's like
an extra
Andros
4
from,
weeks.
Star Fox, but with a Z in front of it.
The difference about version is still
Although I guess
fractures
Andros
are
has two
less
S's.
painful than those.
My mistake. So it's not like
If the
Andros, just
broken,
ignore what I
if the
said.
broken bone is in the leg, it would be very painful.
Oh, I'm baked. I'm fucking baked, dude.
Figures.
Fingers. dude. Go figure, right? Oh, Tiny Kong on sale. Hell yeah. Bottles on sale. Let's go.
Stable fracture such a bug fracture can generally be treated in flint or cast for 34
Okay,
weeks.
so what do we do? He can't join the Vanguard, but he can play with us. So I wonder if there's like someone I can message that can get him the interview done.
Play.
Is let's see, rise above him.
I kind of want to play Legends of Zelda now. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is a good game. I don't really like when people speedrun it though. Girl's mic is so loud.
But I remember for this time I went to
Holy.
Comic-Con, I was dead tired myself. It was still pretty fun though.
Good. See, all these are like armor free Breath of the Wild Link, or they're not even.
Oh, I see. Oh, you cosplay? What? That's a lot of rupees, man. It's a lot of rupees. I don't know what you want me to do. Do. Good morning, Jenna. How are you?
No, I'm good. None of these are even English.
Thank you.
Wait, this guy's stream looks kind of
Don't be
good.
shy about poking your nose into suspicious places. It's not good advice. Do not give that advice to people.
I don't know if I really want to beat all the Koroks on my main.
No, you're just gonna hang out. Okay. You're
Play
just gonna
some
hang out.
Modern Warfare wouldn't be bad. That game is really fun. If I can do Legend,
Let me double check that one, Zulu.
Legend, Zelda Breath of the Wild. Is there anybody live streaming it on?
Let's go.
Oh, no, I confront.
The sequel's so good. Is there anybody live playing it? We're watching live stream.
These guys are getting smoothed. Dude, M4 is so fun to use the short barrel, bro.
That's why this.
Windows Helvet from the Twilight Princess.
None of these are like. Okay. Download them. Do I want to? I could just set up my Switch. I could just set up my Switch. Breath of the Wild. That is English. Okay. That's pretty up.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Cynical and welcome back to another video. Today for you guys, I wanted to fill you in on some
What's poppin'?
recently found regret of mine. Today I wanted to talk about The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and why I'm absolutely kicking myself in the ass as of right now over the fact that I was never able to click with this game, but recently I've finally been able to. it's finally clicked with me. I finally do understand why so many people went nuts over this game, and that the fact that this game is one of the best rated games currently as of right now. So I just wanted to talk about this. I'm thoroughly enjoying my experience with Breath of the Wild, finally, ever since the game came out back in obviously 2017. So let's talk about this. I picked up Breath of the Wild on launch day back in 2017 for the Wii U. And I would have probably have started this game most likely about 5 times over, specifically just on the Wii U. The first day I ended up getting it, I progressed through the Great Plateau. I don't think I got up to the point of actually getting the paraglider. I did most of the shrines in order to get the Sheikah tools, but after which never progressed any further. It would have been a few months later where I started a new game, and once again I never got off the Great Plateau, and so on and so forth throughout all of my new games that I started on the Wii U. It wasn't until I ended up getting a Nintendo Switch later on that year in October, I ended up getting the Super Mario Odyssey bundle, and for a great deal of time there I was actually infatuated with Odyssey, even though I decided to actually pick up Breath of the Wild for a second time for Switch in order to, you know, take the game around, and that Breath of the Wild looks slightly better on the Switch when, of course, docked. I mean, these were just my reasons, even though at that point I still hadn't clicked with the game. I decided to just pick it up once again. As I said, I was infatuated with Super Mario Odyssey for quite some time when I got my Switch, so I didn't actually get around to playing Breath of the Wild once again for the first time on Switch until a little while afterwards. Again, I probably would have started about 2 new games on the Switch doing the exact same thing both times, similar to my experiences on Wii U, never exiting the Great Plateau, doing the shrines, and that's as far as I got. It probably would have been the second new game that I ended up starting on my Switch, where I finally progressed through all of the Great Plateau shrines, got the tower, got the paraglider, and was finally able to spread those wings to make my way into the wide open world of Hyrule. I ended up venturing over to the West Necluda stables, and then upwards and onwards to the Kakariko village, to progress the story a little further. I then made my way over to Hateno village to, of course, visit the Hateno Tech Lab, and that was as far as I got for the second time on Switch. At this point, I had probably started about 7 different new games for Breath of the Wild, and it wouldn't be until 2019, around this time right now, that I decided to start yet another new game, but not knowing that new game number 8 would finally be that new game that I started, which would be the one to actually make me click with Breath of the Wild and fully understand all of its tropes, features, and the ways that the game works, and just how absolutely amazing this open world game is. Let's talk about my Zelda history. In terms of my Zelda history, I don't really have too much of it. Growing up, I wasn't really too much of a Nintendo fanboy, as I grew up mainly with a PlayStation system, with the PS2 being my very first video game console and my introduction into that of video games. The only time that I was actually ever able to play a Nintendo system, which my very first one being the Nintendo 64, was whenever I'd go around to my friend's house. But even still so, when we would play in 64, it would either be Tony Hawk Pro Skater or the Mario games, whether it be Mario Party, Mario 64, or of course Mario Kart. So I was never really exposed too much to The Legend of Zelda over the course of growing up, and this is probably the sole reason as to why I never really bothered to actually play any of the Zelda games. In fact, my very first Zelda game I ever played was A Link to the Past for the 3DS, and still to this day I'm yet to even put a decent amount of time into that game. Sort of a similar case to Breath of the Wild. I've started multiple new games on A Link to the Past, but I just can't pick it up. So recently I've decided to give Breath of the Wild yet another chance, as I was saying, and I'm happy to announce that yes, finally I have clicked with this game, and as I was saying, I am absolutely kicking myself in the ass over the fact that it took me so long to finally come to terms with Breath of the Wild and to fully understand it. Over the past week and a half, this is the game that I've been playing the most in my own personal time, and I'm absolutely adoring it. The thing with Breath of the Wild is it's very different to any other previous Zelda game. Although yes, there are many tropes and similarities within certain features throughout Breath of the Wild that are similar to that of previous Zelda titles, this is a huge, huge step in a different direction for the Zelda games. As of right now, I still have quite some ways to go before I wrap everything up. I mean, this open world is absolutely so massive. I've only seen so much of Hyrule so far, with still needing to visit quite a few more regions. But from what I have seen from the game so far, slap me over the face with a turkey from the north, I am becoming very quickly infatuated. The way that Breath of the Wild is different to any other previous open world RPG game that I've played in the sense of how it's structured and how you make progression is that the game is structured around exploration, which I think is absolutely genius for a game that is open world. In order to make progression in Breath of the Wild, you have to and are forced to explore its open world, which you'd want to do in any good open world game, right? The way that Link becomes stronger throughout this game isn't via just taking down enemies and receiving XP in return. No, you actually have to venture out into the massive wide open world and track down these shrines, which are sort of like little dungeons with puzzles in them, and then once you have completed them, in return, you get a spirit orb. There's no real clear sense of direction as to where you're meant to go in Breath of the Wild. The game really leaves it up to the player as to where they want to go and how they want to get to the destination they've set, which I think is just absolutely so amazing considering that the entire world seems traversable. You can climb any wall, any mountain, any tree that you come across. And I'm just looking at this cliffside right here, you know, and like in any normal game, you'd think, oh shit, damn it, how do I get up there? I'm gonna have to go around, I'm gonna have to find some fucking ladder or some hill to walk up. Breath of the Wild, it's a completely different story. You just chuck your ass up on that rock and start climbing. And although yes, there are main quests and side quests throughout Breath of the Wild, the structure is based around tracking down these shrines, which means that you have to explore the open world. This game isn't really set up in the sense of, alright, you go to point A, you do such and such, and then once you've done that, you go to point B, you do such and such. Quests in this game kind of take a backseat, and the exploration thing comes in front row. And I think that is the grand idea of Breath of the Wild. The game is designed to be explored, to give you this great sense of adventure. If you have a point where you want to go on the map, you can go to it, giving you that freedom of, yeah, sure, if you want to go to these sort of high-level areas, even though there aren't really levels in this game, there are still regions that are host to stronger enemies that probably wouldn't be advised to be taken down as soon as you start the game. However, though, if you want to go to these regions and even get into the shrines, you can do that. The open world of Hyrule is absolutely beautiful as well. One of the most breathtaking open worlds I have ever experienced throughout a video game before. And although, yes, Breath of the Wild isn't exactly the most visually impressive open world video game I have played, it has a certain sort of aesthetic to it that is absolutely just jaw-dropping. Seriously, throughout my experience so far, I've probably come across the most beautiful looking vistas I have ever seen in a video game. We've seen amazing looking landscapes in the distance with clouds engulfing mountains, the Sheikah Towers in the distance that you know that you'll eventually climb up to get a wide shot angle view of the amazing open world. I mean, my god, this game and its locations are absolutely pretty, and I still haven't seen all of the regions. And because of the fact that progression coincides with that of exploration, it always feels like you're actually progressing no matter what you're actually doing in Breath of the Wild. This game really allows you to take your time with it. By no means does Breath of the Wild want you to rush through the experience, but it's set up in a way that even if you are just taking your time, not necessarily going out of your way to track down the shrines, but just taking your time by coming across a Boboklin encampment or other enemy encampments, it means that you'll be coming across chests and taking down enemies that are wielding stronger weapons. Also, by just exploring the area and coming across oddly positioned boulders or other out-of-place looking things throughout the open world, if you actually decide to interact with some of these, it turns out that they actually are a puzzle, which in return, if you solve this puzzle, you get Korok seeds, which can be traded in order to increase your inventory spaces.
Listen to the way he says that.
Korok seeds, which can be traded in order to increase your inventory spaces. So, in a sense, even if you are just taking your time throughout Breath of the Wild and just exploring, it always seems like you're making progression somehow, which I think is extremely impressive, considering that this is a game based upon no XP gains, but progression via exploration, which is something I've never experienced throughout a previous open world game. The combat system as well is...
See.
So technically, it's
What this is all about.
Which characters will return? What's the main story now that Ganondorf's true Gerudo form has awoken? But one question I've posed before in my video discussing my hopes for the sequel is that of the game's main dungeons. One of my main criticisms of Breath of the Wild was the complete absence of traditional Zelda dungeons, only Sheikah challenges. But if the trailer for the sequel is anything to go off, there's a good chance we'll be returning to Breath of the Wild's Hyrule in the next game. IG Aonuma himself has even mentioned that one of the main reasons they wanted to create a continuation was because they wanted to revisit that Hyrule again, use that world again, while incorporating new gameplay and new ideas. And for the most part, the world itself looks identical in the sequel, except for the fact that there are no Sheikah constructs visible at all. No pillars surrounding the castle, no shrines, no towers. So what will the game's dungeons be? Aonuma has mentioned that the Zelda team are aiming to build on the freeform style of the shrines, polishing up the formula and using it for inspiration, but I think it's likely that they'll take this mindset, that puzzles can be solved in multiple ways, and apply it to non-Sheikah dungeons. So if this is the case, where in Breath of the Wild's Hyrule could traditional Zelda dungeons be hiding for exploration in its sequel? Let's go through a few possibilities. The mines. First off, one that's not a long way off from what we see in the sequel's trailer, which takes place in a network of caves below Hyrule. Either caves containing ancient stonework, or caves with minecart rails. These caves are littered with luminous stones, meaning it's likely that whoever built these mines was gathering them. Unless this entire sequence is just a cutscene, or even worse, rendered just for the trailer, which I think is unlikely, we'll be able to explore these mines below Hyrule. And what better place to hide a traditional Zelda dungeon? A long-forgotten subterranean complex, overrun with Skulltula, Stalfos and worse. A dungeon based on a mine isn't new to the Zelda series. One of the best dungeons in Twilight Princess is the Goron Mines, on the volcanic slopes of Death Mountain, with probably the single coolest use for the iron boots in the series. Luminous stones, apparently the target of the mining expeditions below Hyrule, are eerie green-blue crystals believed to contain the souls of the dead. Perhaps a dungeon found in the caves deep below the kingdom could feature these tortured souls. A haunted mine, culminating in a boss fight against a being formed from many trapped spirits, a phantom of the deep. Subterranean Hyrule is obviously playing a much larger role in this game than ever before, being the location in which the game's villain is discovered, so I'd love it if a dungeon was hidden in the darkness. Arbiter's Grounds. The Arbiter's Grounds are a dark stain on the history of Hyrule. Found during Twilight Princess in the Gerudo Desert, this Colosseum-like stone structure was a site for the incarceration and execution of prisoners, either by conventional means or banishment to the Twilight Realm. Famously, this accursed place was the site of Ganondorf's execution, or rather attempted execution, an event which caused the Twilight Invasion and near destruction of the kingdom. During the events of Twilight Princess, Link must traverse the ruins to reach the Mirror of Twilight, purging scores of Stalfos, Pose, and the harrowing Phantom Death Sword before taking on the behemoth Stalord. At the very end of Twilight Princess, we see the mirror shattered by Midna, who as the true ruler of the Twilight Realm is able to obliterate the artifact entirely, which severs the connection between the two worlds, and the Arbiter's Grounds is left to rot, a reminder of the horrific events of Hyrule's past. But during Breath of the Wild, as I mentioned in my hopes for the sequel video, the Arbiter's Grounds are found in the Gerudo Desert, or rather ruins which share the same name are. Breath of the Wild's world is packed with locations,
My goodness.
better places, characters, and races from other titles, but these ruins in the desert are particularly interesting. They don't seem to match up well with the Arbiter's grounds we know from Twilight Princess, but they're almost completely buried in the sands, obscuring their true shape. During the trailer for Breath of the Wild's sequel, Hyrule Castle can be seen rising from the ground, in a similar manner to how the Sheikah Towers burst free after Link activated the Plateau Tower. If Hyrule Castle rises from the earth, why not other partially submerged structures? Why not the ancient Arbiter's grounds, hiding long-forgotten treasures and guarded by long-forgotten evils? Distant lands. While we saw Breath of the Wild's Hyrule in the reveal trailer for the sequel and learned that IG Aonuma plans to keep the game in the same location, it'd be a little disappointing if the entire game was confined to the same land. With so much more visible from Hyrule in the game, I'd love it if part of the sequel involved adventuring through at least one new land, perhaps north of Hyrule to the snowy peaks, or on one of the distant islands we can see in the southeast, further out than Eventide. The only means of sea travel in Breath of the Wild, outside of swimming or playing Frogger with Cryonis blocks, is via a raft, which always felt like a great makeshift way to cross a river or reach an island on a lake, but never a fitting way to travel the seas. Allowing Link to find or even construct larger sea vessels to travel to islands further out from the mainland would create an opportunity to build new terrain, with new villages, secrets, and perhaps dungeons. Lake Hylia. Of all locations in the Zelda series, few are as special to me as Lake Hylia. While it appears in the first Zelda game in A Link to the Past, the first Lake Hylia most people remember is that of Ocarina of Time, a serene corner of Hyrule sheltered on all sides, populated by the laboratory, fishing hole, and of course the lake itself, a great, calm body of water, the depths of which hide the Water Temple. In all games where it appears, Lake Hylia is one of my absolute favourite locations. Not only Ocarina of Time, but Twilight Princess 2 features an incredible iteration of the iconic lake, again hiding a watery labyrinth in its murky depths. But Breath of the Wild's Lake Hylia lacks something. There's no fishing huts, no buildings surrounding the lake, just a shrine on an island and the Great Bridge of Hylia towering over the water. I remember this was the place I first visited after leaving the Great Plateau, only to find nothing. But if Breath of the Wild's sequel adds underwater exploration, something I felt was sorely missing from the original, then Lake Hylia would be a prime location in which to hide a water dungeon. When we swim across the lake in Breath of the Wild, we might unknowingly be hundreds of feet above an ancient ruined temple, inaccessible to us on the surface. A simple way to completely revamp Breath of the Wild's overworld, filling it with countless hours of new content, would be to add an item to its sequel, allowing Link to breathe and swim underwater. While the Zora tunic is in Breath of the Wild, allowing Link to briefly switch off the laws of physics and swim up waterfalls instead of swim underwater, other water-related items are incredibly common in the series, such as the Water Dragon scale, Silver scale, Zora flippers, and so on. Including an item like this would allow the Zelda team to populate Hyrule's bodies of water with new content. Underwater cities, dungeons, caves, and enemies. And there's no better location for a water dungeon in the series than the iconic Lake Hylia. Spectacle Rock. Speaking of iconic recurring locations in the Zelda series, we've got Spectacle Rock. If you're new to the series with Breath of the Wild, you might be wondering why. It's a seemingly uninteresting rock formation east of the Gerudo Desert, consisting of two mesas, one housing a Sheikah Tower, and one serving as the point at which Vanoboris takes aim at Hyrule Castle. Outside of these two functions, Spectacle Rock is pretty empty, though it's a reference which many Zelda games include, all linking back to the first appearance of Spectacle Rock in Zelda 1. Bombing the westernmost mesa will reveal the entrance to Level 9, the game's hardest and final dungeon, and the hideout of Ganon. Breath of the Wild sequel might dig down to the origin of the Calamity Ganon, so what better place to hide a dungeon than under Spectacle Rock, where the very first Ganon confrontation took place. Spectacle Rock in Breath of the Wild isn't on Death Mountain like in the original game. It's found in the Gerudo region, a desert shrouded in mysteries. The Desert Dweller's history and religion are some of the most intriguing puzzles hidden in the game's world. The 7 heroines, for example, are 7 colossal statues of warrior women.
This was so
They were
weird.
each built to
When I
resemble
found this
one of
in
the 7
game,
sages.
I had no
The
idea
group
what that
chose
was.
to perform sacred tasks throughout Hyrule's history. Gerudo text on the heroines.
It was a
even
ball and I didn't know what to do
translated
with it.
The 7 sages. But far north of here in the Gerudo Highlands, an 8th statue can be found, and it's soared on top of a mountain nearby. Almost like the statue was expunged, removed from history, and somehow transported miles away. There's even a place for the statue in the group of 7, which are arranged in an octagon rather than a heptagon. Spectacle Rock looms over these 7 statues, a location which is not only referencing the original battle with Ganon, but is now tied to the Gerudo Desert and its secrets. There aren't many places in Breath of the Wild's Hyrule more suited to housing some sort of dungeon, like an ancient labyrinth found below the peaks, tied to the mysteries of the Gerudo and the origins of Calamity Ganon, secrets long buried and erased from history. So what do you guys think? Where in Breath of the Wild's Hyrule would you like to see traditional Zelda dungeons? If you like this
What's going
Am I
on,
getting
boys and
ads
girls?
all of a
What's up,
sudden?
world? Austin John Plays here, and today
Never
we're going to
get
be talking
ads.
about the differences between the original Link's Awakening, the new one, and some fun things that you can expect to explore on Koholint Island. And for those of you who are going to be having your first experience on Koholint Island, there are some great things that you're going to be playing through and experiencing for the first time on this brand new adventure. This is the second year in a row that Nintendo's given us a brand new coat of paint on an original Game Boy classic. Last year in 2018, we got Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee that were a complete reimagining and just a beautiful way to experience and tweets and posts by Nintendo and filled with different areas that intertwine with one another in a way that doesn't make them seem so cut ways, but all the changes can be brought down to 2 basic ideas: the updated art style and quality of life improvements. You're no longer going to be going square by square of areas to explore in the overworld. Instead, it's going to be one large fleshed out map. You'll see every character from that original pixelated design into an adorable diorama style full 3D model. And while you adventure, the entire screen presents a vignette of a depth of field, meaning if it's far away, it's going to appear blurry, which can be mostly seen at the top and the bottom of the screens. One huge quality of life feature from the original, and this may sound a little foreign to people who have not played the older Zelda games, is that many items that required you to pause the game and swap is no more. You want to lift a rock? With the proper upgrade, you just hit A in front of a rock and you pick up the rock. You want to block an attack? Your sword and shield are always going to be equipped. You want to charge an enemy? With the proper upgrade, you just hold down L and you can run at it. Perfect. Now that the button count has gone from 2 to 8, it's no longer a trivial, often occurring task. The sword and shield, power bracelet, and Pegasus boots are always equipped. A is your action button, B is your sword, R is to block, L is to run. The Y and X buttons are going to be for your other items, such as your magic power, Rook's feather, bombs, shovel, ocarina, hookshot, bow and arrow, magic rod, boomerang, and fairy bottles. This remake adds a few items into the game from the original. One of the most notable is going to be bottles. There are several fairy fountains in the game, as well as specific enemies who drop fairies, and in the original it was just they refill your hearts. But now you can bottle them and use them for later. As of now, I've seen footage or mention of at least 2 bottles in the game. As opposed to the original map on the Game Boy, we now get a beautiful, hand-drawn, super detailed map that you can place down markers just like in Breath of the Wild. Very useful if you're
Seems like a pretty
exploring
small
a
map.
dungeon and you see a wall that looks
So we'll see how I
bombable,
like
but
the
you
game.
don't have bombs yet. You can just put down a marker and you'll be back. No problem. The original had a couple of warp points, but with no interface.
I'm
And it
actually
seems
gonna
like
like
now
it.
you're not only going to be able to choose which warp point you want to go to when you play the ocarina and the corresponding song to warp to, but there's also going to be more warp points added. And now there's a memories mode, which lets you see who you've spoken to and what they've told you, as well as help making your progress, most likely with hearts and secret seashells down by the seashore. In the original game, you only had 14 hearts, which was much less than other Zelda games, but on the Switch, that's been increased to 20. In the original, there were 12 pieces of heart and not very well hidden. Could that mean that we have more to search out for? An
My gosh,
additional
it's
6
on,
hearts
like,
could mean 20.
Micro Phantom. Yes. Okay, why am I getting ads all of a
What's going
sudden?
on, boys and girls? All
Is this
Yoshi games,
game out
Luigi's
yet?
Mansion, almost every
Poopy. Trying to remember. So bad I remember. Link's Awakening. Gosh. Yo. Going to your channel to see if I recognize. Probably won't. I don't go to many people's channels. But who knows? September 20th? Oh, that's only 5 days away. But I'll see how I like it. I don't really know. I don't like that style of game too much. But I mean, it's such a Zelda. I'm just so excited for the new one. I don't think they've had Breath of the Wild. I think they've had a release. Bro, I think I'm gonna get this. I mean, I already have the game. I beat it. I might get on my PC just to play it with 60 FPS and like replay it. But I might hook up my Switch. I'm not sure. Oh, here. Oh, wait. I can't show this. Bad. Is this you? Yeah. That's you. Go watch a movie. What are good movies that just came out? Name some movies. Watch It Chapter 2. Dora. The Angry Bird movie 2. Hobbs and Shaw. Maybe I'll watch that. Hobbs and Shaw. Came out a little while ago, but it has some acclaim. 70%. What are some good movies? Chapter 2. Hustlers, Angel of Fallen Boys. Oh, The Lion King. Oh, I heard that was kind of bad though. It Chapter 2. I really want to see that. What? Aura maybe? Hollywood. Who's in it? Is that Leonardo DiCaprio? Yeah, it is. Oh well. Okay. Give me a suggestion. Should I go hook up my Switch? Oh, I can't really start a new game though. Thing is, I beat the game, right? And then I restarted the game on my Switch. And then I beat it again. And now I'm trying to 100% it on my Switch. I'm probably just going to re-download it on my PC. Because I don't want to... Because I have so much stuff on the Switch one. I have like everything. I think I have everything. And I don't really want to restart it. So let's see. What is it called? Cemu or whatever? Cemu emulator. Really know how this works, but now let's see. Look up how to set it up. Go to up to 1.5.
Here, simply click settings. Next, move across to advanced again, and it is this virtual memory section that we are looking for right here. By its description, you can see that a paging file is an area on the
Wait, what? Okay. I tried. It never worked for you, really? I mean, I've done it before. I know it works. I just don't really know if I want to install my computer and then.
Going to be running the
I don't really know if I want to. That's why I want to play this game. Is doing it with one hand isn't it? Put on this. This has all my stuff on it. I mean, I could always just
emulator for the first time and setting up all of the additional settings for best compatibility. Once I drag this window to center, you can see in the very top left hand corner this is indeed the latest version 1.15.10. Now all you need to do is click this download now button to download the shared fonts provided by the utilization of Cemu Hook.
So here, desktop.
Everything is set here, click apply, click OK, and you're now done with Cemu compatibility settings. Next up, we're going to be running the emulator for the first time and setting up all of the additional settings for best compatibility. Once I drag this window to center, you can see in the I simply select it as folder and are present in this Wii U games folder as previously shown and get these shared fonts installed. Next up, we're going to be configuring our game paths and our MLC paths so our games, updates and DLCs show up in our emulation window. All you want to do is come to Options, General Settings, and here you can see our game paths. All you need to do is click Add and then navigate to wherever you have stored your dumped Nintendo Wii U games. Mine are present in this Wii U games folder I stored on a large storage medium drive. You should see its file directory path appear here. Next, I'm also going to be setting up my MLC path. As shown in previous guides of mine, it is highly recommended to use a Cemu emulator backup and into that folder create this MLC01 path. It is then into this MLC01 folder that you will be installing all of your games, updates and DLCs. Since I already have mine installed into this MLC01 folder, I simply select it as folder, and once I have this MLC path set, and also my game path set, I am pretty much done with setting these up. The next thing I'm going to do is simply select these two remember screen and pad window positions. This just makes sure that the Cemu emulation window is going to stay in the very center of my screen where I left it the previous time I used it. Now that I've closed this general settings window, you can also see that my games, updates and DLCs are now also correctly displaying. It is massively important that you make sure to update your games to their latest versions. For The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, you can see this is version 208 and DLC version 80. In CMU 1.15.10, you can also camera ruin. You are going to need to to a value that suits you the best. Since I personally don't play any games that use gamepad audio, I'm just going to leave this at the same.
Okay, so how to use Steamu. Okay, I need to look up. Okay. Why is my computer dying? How to set up Steamu Zelda Breath of the Wild.
What is up, guys? It's getting flat.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
face all. Sorry if all that sounded confusing. Just slow the video down and do what I do. Shown in the video to open the game start file. Voila! We now have Breath of the Wild installed and running. However, it's probably quite laggy. There's not a lot we can do about that, but there are some things we can do to help. But like I said, even the best computers struggle to get constant 30 FPS in most areas.
Jeez, bro, this is intense. Is my it's okay. No, this guy is the one I watch.
You're simply setting this to your primary sound driver, and if you were playing any games, for example Star Fox Zero that use the gamepad audio, again set this to a primary sound device.
Okay, none
and
of
make
this
sure
is
to turn its volume up from 0% to a
Let's
value
start.
that suits you the best. Since I personally don't play any game,
None of this is like how to actually add the game.
but next up, I'm going to be showing you how you can edit your game profile for your specific games. Here on Breath of the Wild, you're going to be right-clicking, selecting Edit Game Profile, and for this CPU mode, you're going to be needing to match this recompiler to the amount of cores or threads that your own CPU in your own personal computer has. Next up, you
Go to popular uploads. Has to be like
hey guys,
first person.
of this app 4K 60 frames per second, absolutely perfectly locked at all times. This mode is available for you to use right now. All you have to do to use it is simply download the graphics pack from the description of this video, extract that graphics pack into your CMU graphics pack folder, and then activate it within the graphics pack window of the emulator itself. This mode itself is super intuitive, as you'll see when we get into combat right here. When I lock onto any enemy, it's going to switch me back into third person mode, allowing you to perform pretty much any combat action or combat maneuver that you would regularly do in the main game. You can also just perform actions in main first person mode. Like you can see, I can simply attack him with my axe.
You don't actually see like your
enemies, you can simply choose to use this lock on mode where you'll be able to see where each and every one of them is attacking you from. As I said, the mode is super intuitive. It also switches to third-person mode when you're swimming, and also switches back into third-person mode when you're performing any climbing actions that require stamina. Personally, I'm a massive fan of this third-person switch, as you can see how combat and climbing can be very difficult when performed in first-person mode. On top of this, the swap from
retarded. Oh, welcome back. I'm just trying to remember how to do this. Guys, stuff not helping. He usually has his videos on how to do it. Just like I remember it. I remember it called. The Wii U emulator. How to the wild. I have this thing. Borderlands.
Welcome everyone. Download it as well. From this website, you can download mods. Use the search bar to find the games you're looking for. Now, let's put all of our folders into the desktop. Like so. Now let's close the web browser. Now extract every your emulator is basically ready.
Oh. What? Sports on PC. Want to play Wii Sports? Alright.
You're simply setting this to your primary sound driver, and if you were playing any games, for example Star Fox Zero that use the gamepad audio, again set this to a primary sound device and make sure to turn its volume up from 0% to a is from your new CMU 1.15 setup. All you need is your latest CMU version, your latest CMU hook version, and next you're going to simply right click your CMU version, deleting this older version of LWZX, since we'll be replacing it with a newer version a little bit later on. The next thing we want to do is right click on our CMU EXE, come down to Properties, and then come across to this Compatibility tab. You want to select Run this program as administrator, disable full screen optimizations, then click this button here. Next, you want to override your high DPI scaling behavior and also select this option at the very top here. Once these two options are selected, click OK. Then once everything is set here, click Apply, click OK, and you're now done with CMU compatibility settings. Next, your dumped Nintendo Wii U games. Mine are
Bro.
present in this Wii U games folder.
It's
Some other happy stuff going on here.
Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to the channel. So as many of you have requested, I am going to be giving you some extended gameplay of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, this time running at 4K using CMU version 1.15.0, the very latest version of this Wii U emulator. In the gameplay footage you're about to watch, you're also going to see me demonstrating several brand new graphics packs and graphics pack modifications. For example, if you were not aware, the FPS++ that is distributed in the main repository of CMU graphics packs has now been fully updated with a brand new working arrow drop
I remember. I want it. I'm going to be killing. Okay. Oh, look at that. Viruses have been installed. Injecting. What is it injecting? PP juice. Okay, I agree. USA. Disclaimer. It's brought to you free of charge. Please select the location to store your games. It's not recommended to... Here. Wii U games. Please paste here the address. Okay, so what do I need? Needs to download tickets. Okay. I remember now. You just put this in. Okay. Dunzo. Looks like my pee gonna explode. Oh, well. PC explodes. Boogie costume. Watching this.
Happy Halloween, everybody, and thank you for watching my Oogie Boogie costume tutorial. I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. Let's get started. I bought a round mask from the dollar store. Any mask will work as long as it has a lot of surface area to work on. Then I took some cardboard and hot glued it to the bottom of the mask. I cut small slits into it so that it would open up and create more room just for Oogie's mouth to sit on. This mask is just kind of gonna be a mold.
Bro, what is that?
Now it's time to mold Oogie's face. I'm using Crayola Model Magic Clay. It's perfect for this because it dries super lightweight. That's perfect for a mask because you don't want anything weighing down your face. You don't need to mold his face 100% perfectly because it's just meant to give structure to the fabric that we use. What you want to focus on is making sure that his nose area is flat because he doesn't have a nose, and also that the eye sockets and his
Oh, molding
mouth
clay isn't a
really
bad idea.
protrude. Let the clay dry for as long as it needs, and then carefully remove it from the dollar store mask or whatever mask you used. If yours is thick like mine, make sure you let the inside dry as well, but lay it down with the sides propped up so it maintains its shape. I used a few layers of black tulle layered together and hot glued them on the inside of the mask for the eye sockets. I don't remember how many layers I used, but I used just enough.
This is so epic.
Black, but I could still see through them. I did the same process for the mouth, except I used black felt. In these next parts, ignore the brown felt cone-looking thing. It ended up not being necessary. But what I did was added a piece of felt to the top of my head that would cover all the way the top of my head, and I glued another piece on the bottom side. I just added this part so that I could attach a elastic headband. Oh my god, my fridge. That is an awful sound.
Fridge.
Sorry. If you don't want to sew, you can just safety pin a headband inside. Measure out how long and how wide you want Oogie's head to be, and then cut it out of a brown jute or burlap fabric. I cut out a long angular sheet in that length, and I layered it over the mask. And then I just lightly drew in some lines for the mouth and the face. Then I cut those, and I started to hot glue, mold, and press down the fabric over the mask until it started to look really good, and I got really excited, and I didn't think it would come out.
Why am I watching this crap? What am I doing with my life?
Make sure you get a tool.
Okay, 1 minute.
I just used the end of my Sharpie, but get a tool so you can really press in there into the hot glue, in the fabric, and good stuff. Yeah. Then I cut my rectangle piece into a cone shape and made a backside for it, and then hot glued those two pieces together, the mask side and the backside, inside out, just like you would. So when you turn it right side out, you get those nice seams like you would if you were actually sewing. Once the whole head is glued together, make a couple stitches in the back of the cone part so that it folds nicely instead of sticking straight out.
Start download.
And
then do unpack.
Stuffing to the tip of the cone if you want. This will add a little
I don't know where I'm unpacking
so that it will flop over in the back of your head like a floppy wizard hat. Oogie's body is kind of a star-shaped blob. If your fabric is wide enough, you can just lay out on it and trace over your entire bodies, including your arms and feet, and be good.
Okay, so how long is this gonna take?
For my material, so I had to make separate limbs. I had Wesley trace.
It's gonna take an hour.
Fabric, and then I drew Oogie's shape around the tracing.
Bro, I put super speed on. Come on, I'm not trying to wait here for an hour.
For my arms and legs, I either measured out.
If I disable super speed, what's happening?
To the fabric directly.
Because I'm streaming. Here, I'm gonna stream and then just